What if your phone screen could keep your secrets better than you can? The Z Fold 8 is already making waves, and it's not even officially announced yet. But here is the thing. Samsung might be working on something we've never seen before in a foldable phone. Forget everything you think you know about privacy screens and display technology. Early whispers are suggesting Samsung is building privacy protection directly into the Z Fold 8's display. Not as an add-on, not as a separate feature, but built right into the screen itself. Today we're diving deep into everything we know about the Z Fold 8 so far. From the leaked animations found in One UI 9 files to the rumored specs that could change everything. We'll talk about why Samsung might be planning not one, but two different Z Fold models. And we'll explore this fascinating privacy display technology that could make your screen visible only to you. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to expect from Samsung's next big foldable. Let's start with what we actually know versus what people are speculating about. This week, some very interesting files leaked from Samsung's upcoming One UI 9 software. Hidden inside those files were animations showing a foldable phone with a much wider profile than current Z Fold devices. Now, Samsung doesn't typically include random animations in their software. These animation files usually represent real devices that are being developed. We've seen this pattern before with previous Galaxy phones, and those animations turned out to be accurate previews. The animation shows a device with a noticeably wider cover display. You can see instructions to swipe up for widgets or to access the home screen. Then the device opens up into what looks like a much more tablet-like form factor. The aspect ratio appears significantly different from current Z Fold phones. This wider design could solve one of the biggest complaints about current foldable phones, that narrow front screen. Right now, typing on the Z Fold's cover display feels cramped for many users. A wider front screen would make the phone much more comfortable to use when folded. But here's where things get really interesting. According to multiple leaks, Samsung is not just working on one Z Fold 8 model. They are apparently developing two completely different flagship foldables. One would be the direct successor to the current Z Fold 7. The other would be this wider model, designed specifically to compete with Apple's rumored first foldable. Think about that for a second. Samsung is preparing for Apple to enter the foldable market. They want to have a device ready that matches whatever Apple might release. This wider Z Fold model could feature an 8-inch internal display. That is significantly larger than the current Z Fold's 7.6-inch screen. An 8-inch display would put this device squarely in small tablet territory. Media consumption would be incredible on a screen that size. Gaming, productivity, multitasking. Everything would benefit from that extra screen real estate. But size is not the only improvement Samsung is reportedly working on. Weight has always been a concern with foldable phones, and Samsung seems to be addressing that directly. Rumors suggest they're experimenting with a carbon fiber reinforced plastic chassis. This material could significantly reduce the phone's weight while maintaining structural integrity. Current Z Fold phones are already pretty heavy, so any weight reduction would be welcome. Under the hood, both Z Fold 8 models are expected to run on Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Elite Generation 5 processor. This makes sense. Samsung always uses the latest flagship chips in their premium foldables. The battery is getting a nice upgrade too, jumping from 4,400 mAh to 5,000 mAh. That might not sound like a huge increase, but every bit of extra battery life matters in a foldable. These phones have large displays that consume a lot of power. The camera system is also getting a major boost. Reports suggest a 200-megapixel main camera, which would be impressive for any smartphone. But on a foldable, where you can use the main cameras for selfies thanks to the cover display, this becomes even more valuable. You'd essentially have a 200-megapixel front-facing camera when the phone is folded. As for launch timing, July seems to be the target date. Samsung has been pretty consistent with their foldable release schedule. Both models might launch together, or the wider variant could come a bit later. Now let's talk about this privacy display technology, because this could be the real game changer. Early reports suggest Samsung is developing an advanced privacy layer built directly into the foldable display. The goal is simple: prevent anyone except the user from seeing what's on the screen. Imagine sitting in a coffee shop, on an airplane, or in a busy office. Your screen would remain completely visible to you, but appear dark or distorted to anyone looking from the side. This is not about adding a privacy screen protector that makes everything dimmer and harder to see. This would be integrated directly into the display technology itself. The screen would maintain full brightness and clarity for the person directly in front of it, but viewing angles would be severely restricted to maintain privacy. Think about how often you use your phone in public spaces: banking apps, personal messages, work emails, and private photos. Built-in privacy protection could make all of these activities much more secure. Current foldables are already productivity powerhouses. People use them for serious work, handling sensitive documents and communications. Adding display privacy to that mix makes perfect sense. This technology could also work hand in hand with improvements to the fold crease. A smoother crease combined with restricted viewing angles could make the inner display feel more immersive and secure. The privacy feature wouldn't just be about security, it could enhance the entire user experience. When you unfold your phone, you'd have a private workspace that nobody else can peek at. Of course, we need to be clear that these are still rumors and leaks. Samsung has not officially confirmed any of these features or specifications. But the evidence is pretty compelling, especially those animation files found in One UI 9. The timing also makes sense. Samsung would want to have their next-generation foldables ready before Apple enters the market. Competition is always good for consumers, and Samsung clearly wants to maintain their lead in foldables. If these rumors are accurate, the Z Fold 8 could represent a significant step forward for foldable technology, not just in terms of specs and performance, but in addressing real user concerns. The wider design addresses complaints about the narrow cover display. The lighter weight addresses concerns about portability. The larger battery addresses power consumption issues. And the privacy display addresses security concerns for public use. So here's the big question. Would built-in display privacy be enough to make you upgrade to the Z Fold 8? Privacy technology might not be as flashy as a faster processor or better cameras, but it could quietly become one of the most practical features Samsung has ever added to a foldable. In a world where we are constantly using our phones in public, true display privacy could be revolutionary. Not loud, not flashy, just smarter and more practical. What do you think about these Z Fold 8 rumors? Are you more excited about the wider design, the privacy display, or the improved specs? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more coverage of Samsung's upcoming devices. We'll keep tracking these Z Fold 8 leaks as more information becomes available. Thanks for watching, and finally see you in the next video. Goodbye.